Mr. Dev, Dr. Seema Prahar, and my fellow co-panelists and distinguished delegates. The organizers had given me a theme, CBT, a sub-theme rather for today's session, that is CBT and assessments in higher education, creating a revolution through technologies. And I hope you all know that CBT means computer-based testing. Since this morning, I have been hearing certain very high-sounding words: transformation, revolution. Okay, that is to take our higher education sector forward. But it also reminds me of a quote by a gentleman who came from abroad, and he said, "India is a very expensive talking shop. We hold such seminars, we exchange ideas, and then get back to our normal routine, come back next year to start saying the same thing again." Well, I'm part of that whole system, so I'll talk. And the organizers have made a mistake. They have forgotten that I'm from that age bracket which likes to listen to their own voice. So if I exceed my time limit, I'm not at fault, the organizers are. Okay. Right, ladies and gentlemen, basically, when I talk about computer-based testing, it is a very, very difficult decision to make as to whether we should go in for computer-based testing or we should not go in for that. And this concept of computer-based testing came somewhere in 1990s, because the personal computers arrived on the scene in early 80s, and after that their usage into the education sector came in later, and then somebody thought of as to if they could be used in education, why not also in testing? So the concept came in this. But in the last 2 decades, not much has happened as far as India is concerned. So what I will do is I'll structure my short talk into these phases. First of all, where are we now? Why test on computers? What are computer-based test design options? And CBT administration models and making an informed decision. I'll try to also basically limit myself to giving certain practical points as far as this aspect of usage of computer in assessments is concerned. Now, where are we now? We are still in a stage of infancy as far as computer-based testing is concerned, both in test designing and test administration. I don't think so you would have forgotten the CAT 2009 fiasco, where we started with computer-based testing for a premier institution, the IIMs, and then we failed, and then we had to switch over to the paper-pencil model. It was the pundits of management who teach management, they had revealed to the world that the plan implementation was not their forte. More than that was that this was one aspect of testing which they should have tried out first, but they did not. Second aspect of computer-based testing is that we do have paper-pencil testing, which comes little close to computer-based testing of the initial stages, that is when the computer-based testing came in, and that is the multiple choice question types. But there also, we are just in the first stage, where we just try to test the memory of the students. There are very few multiple choice question tests which are being conducted today, which test the comprehension, the application of the knowledge, the conceptual ability, and various other aspects of the Bloom's taxonomy which are there. And those, and the tests to assess the students in those aspects of the Bloom's taxonomy are also available, but somehow, barring few tests like the CAT, perhaps, yes, it tests those, but not all those aspects. Other aspects are generally neglected. Then, secondly, the CBT is basically confined to entrance tests, or in some cases, evaluating the students as far as their induction into the industry is concerned. But education sector per se, in their day-to-day teaching and learning process, they do not use CBT to that extent that it could help them in their teaching learning process. But they say that one day all tests will be delivered on computers. When will that happen? As far as India is concerned, I can't say. Another aspect which we may have to keep in mind is that the amount of effort required to conduct or plan, prepare, and conduct a CBT, does it justify the benefits that accrue from it? Let's see that as far as, and there is a long road which we have to travel. I'll try to cover as to what all does it employ. First of all, why should we test on computers? First part is that it helps us in enabling measurements of skills that cannot be fully or appropriately captured through paper pencil mode. I'll elaborate on that slightly later. It improves the measurement by increasing the precision or efficiency of measurement process and makes the test administration more convenient for examinees as well as the test sponsors. Now, as far as the first part was concerned, that is the skill measurements. The paper pencil mode is basically a static mode. Something is written on the paper, that is the last word, and the student has to attempt that question paper. It cannot change. On the other hand, and there are certain other aspects of testing which a paper pencil mode just cannot involve test. That is, on the other hand, computers can incorporate sound and motion. They can interact with the examinees dynamically, and they can accept responses through a variety of modes, and also the scoring process can be different in different types. Examples are, like, for example, if you are testing the language proficiency of a student, you can test through the computers whether he can speak the language, whether he can understand the language, whether he can converse, whether he can comprehend what is being conveyed to him. All those aspects, as far as the language is concerned, through a computer you could test those. Similarly, music. You could play a piece of music, ask a student about the various aspects. Similarly, with the software package, a student could be made to interact with the software package, and then he could be asked to comment on it, or asked to rectify certain bugs in it, or various other aspects of it. As far as science tests are concerned, the student could be asked to conduct a test on simulators and thereafter show the results. Medical certification. A student could be given a problem, and from diagnostic to treatment to evaluation of the disease. Now, how does it improve the efficiencies? Now, there are certain types of tests which are known as adaptive computer-based tests. Now, what does that mean, adaptive? That means questions are listed out, and they are the student is made to attempt those questions, and based on the responses of the students, the next question is given, or next set of questions is given, depending upon his proficiency. A weaker student may get different types of questions. A student who is good at a subject may get different types of subjects. I'll elaborate on this aspect as to where this adaptive type of testing could be used slightly later. Therefore, answers to earlier questions determine which questions are asked later, and tests progressively change as examinees' performance level is gradually released. Basically, the basic principle involved is they avoid asking questions that are too difficult or too easy. And they felt that we do not want to find out what the examinee does not know. We want to know what he knows. That is what we require as teachers. That is what we want to know. What has the examinee understood? And two basic steps, therefore, in that direction are item selection. Item, when we say, is one question. Item selection and score estimation as to how do we evaluate the student. what type of questions should be incorporated, and how do you evaluate the student. As far as the convenience part is concerned, it goes without saying that self-proctoring is one of the salient features of computer-based testing. We all are familiar with that. Immediate scoring. Now, apart from the normal end-term examination or other tests, even in the day-to-day teaching, the immediate scoring comes in handy. Let's say if you're trying to teach a concept to a group of students, and after having taught for a particular duration, you administer a test, and based on the results achieved, you could take a decision whether you would like to continue with the same way of teaching that particular concept, or would you like to change. So it helps as a good teaching aid. Then types of items selected are crucial in determining the immediacy. Now, if you administer a descriptive type of test, obviously you will not be able to get the results immediately. Then integrated data management system, that moment you hold the test and the results are given, the database of, as far as the students is concerned, could be automatically updated. And you don't have to wait for the time when the students come back for the results, and then the results are collated, and so on. The flexible scheduling, all students need not be need not be present for the tests on the same day. They could be called in different batches, and the tests could be designed in such a way that each student is given a different question paper. The degree of difficulty of the question paper could still be maintained, so that everybody attempts the same type of question paper. And the reach and speed, you could go almost everywhere. Now, if that be the case, you have to design a computer-based test question paper, what should be their design options? Rightly speaking, a question paper should be short, reliable, secure and convenient. But there are certain test properties which you must keep in mind while designing a question paper. First and foremost is the measurement efficiency. The shorter the test, the more reliable it is. Less reliable it is. Longer the test, more reliable it is. So therefore, the two contradictions as far as the design option or requirements are concerned. However, you have to arrive at a balance between those. And as far as the test security is concerned, you have to keep certain aspects in mind. Whether the students can copy from each other, so therefore two students sitting next to each other should not get the same question in the same order. Similarly, the number of questions which could be jumbled up, the questions could be from different, from a pool of questions, and different questions could be asked from different students. And similarly, on different days, different types of question papers could be administered. And similarly, another example here I would like to say that IELTS examinations you must have seen. The coaching centers which have come up have now mastered the art that the questions which are there in their question pool, they have been able to list out those questions, and they prepare the students basically for that. And in Northern India, a student appears for the test for 6 times or 7 times and automatically thereafter passes, because he is put through those questions in so many times that he is able to master the question papers. But his command over the language is not up to the mark. But he passes the IELTS examination. So the security aspect of it, the size of the question pool, and which all questions are to be weeded out and when are to be weeded out, those aspects need to be kept in mind. Then the design, what type of test will you like to have? There are different types of tests, I'll come to that, and what scoring methodology to be done. But most important aspect of it is that it is very, very expensive to develop the computer-based test models, test papers. And it is very, very expensive to conduct these tests, because you will need to set up so many centers all over the country. Now, which are the various administration models? The first one is linear or the fixed model, where everybody gets the same question and in the same order in which it has been listed. It is just a replica of the paper pencil model, but it is based on the computers. On the other hand, in the render form, the questions are jumbled up, and then the student is asked to appear for those. As far as the multi-stage question paper is concerned, as I told you, the adaptive type, where the responses of the students to the earlier questions decide as to what question should be posed to him later. And item adaptive is slightly different from the multi-stage. In the multi-stage, a group of questions are first administered to the student before trying to decide as to what question should be asked to him. Whereas item adaptive is concerned, you change the question after every item. Change the question for a particular student after every item based on his response. It is a much more rigorous process. And then computer classification is concerned, that is altogether a different kettle of fish, where you try to group the students based on their skill levels. Like, who is the student, who are the good students, who are poor students. Alternatively, who are the students who could become good managers, who are the students who could become good researchers. Those type of computerized classifications could be carried out with based on computer-based testing models. Now, these testing models, once you design, obviously it costs money. And there is other aspects of it as far as the security, their requirements are concerned, the question development requirements are concerned, their complexity and cost, etc. And so once you have taken these aspects into mind, what model would you select for your particular institution or for your particular purpose? Just one more minute. Just one more minute. Just last line. Some relevant considerations which you must keep in mind are, first of all, what is the aim of the test? Are you going to test whether the student should be passed in that examination or not? Or are you trying to test him for a particular type of job? Those aspects, what is your aim? And based on that, the considerations which you will keep in mind are the types of questions which you will list in this thing, the stakes attached to the test scores, that means the type of scoring, whether you should have negative marking or you should not have negative marking, and the characteristics of the examinee population as to what are the types of students who are going to be appearing for those type of questions, and the subjective values of the people who are conducting the examination. What do they feel about it? So that is as far as the computer-based testing, how this is concerned. And we in India, we have a long, long road ahead. We are still in our stage of infancy. We are still into that just multiple choice questions. And in that, ladies and gentlemen, the biggest problem is that it is just a refinement of the paper pencil model. But to design a good computer-based question paper, there are two basic requirements, because unlike the paper pencil model, where you could ask types of questions, slight bit of playing with the language may not create a problem. Here there are two basic requirements for the person who is setting the question paper. One is his command over the English language, because most of our question papers are in English, unless if you want a question paper to be in some other language. Second aspect, because otherwise if he does not have good command over English language, he may say something but convey something different. And on top of that, the proficiency of our students also, majority of our students with the English language is that of not that high order, and they may understand altogether a different thing, and they may respond in a different way. With the result, you lose your basic objective to find out whether the student has learnt or not. Second aspect is the domain knowledge of the person who is setting the question paper. Majority of our faculty members today lack this aspect, found lacking in this aspect, because they themselves are a product of an examination-centric approach. And they have got their degrees based on rote learning. And to expect them now to switch over and start setting questions to test various aspects of the Bloom's taxonomy is a tall order. We need to train them to do that particular job. And it is a major task ahead. And I think there is a need for transformation, not change. Some drastic measures are required to be done, and I do not know how, considering the size of the faculty, the number of people who are required to be trained, how we are going to do it. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.